here's my concept map again about a biogeographical survey and what it is. And as you can see, I've tweaked things a little bit so that it's a little bit clearer. So with my definitions, I've added what those sections of the word mean. With my frame or grid survey, I've found out that it's called quadrat sampling, and these things just help to make my ideas a bit clearer. I've also given the steps here to show that that's something else I know when I think about it. And I've seen some really interesting work from students in the meanwhile. Now, some have gone on to several slides, so they might have copied out information like this about their examples or their types of species, put them onto other slides and expanded that thinking further. And that's a really neat way to handle it if you've got thinking that doesn't fit all on one slide. There is other software we can use where you can zoom out and in a bit more, but I thought we'd use the slides because they have fairly good drawing tools and you can keep editing them, and they're right there in Google Apps for Education. Another thing people have done that looks really awesome is they've put photos as the backdrops for some of their slides. Now that's fantastic, but I'm a little bit worried I may not have taught some of those students how to find photographs they can legally use on the internet. And Pixabay is a great site for that. But if you've used a photo and you think, oh, I don't know what she's talking about right now, we will have that conversation, because if you use someone else's photograph on the internet, even on some of the sites that say free, it can be a bit dodgy and there are fines. So I want to take care of you in that regard. Okay, so back to concept maps and what they tell us about our thinking. You can look at yours about species and think, how much of my information is answering the question, what is a species in general, and how much of it is answering the question, what is a cat like, or what is a dog like, as an example of a species. So we've got that balance between abstract and concrete. For a lot of you, most of your concept map is about a concrete example. We hope that as you move through the unit, you will also feel confident in expressing your abstract ideas that just answer the question, what is a species, and aren't about that one specific example or two specific examples that you thought up. And that it might also answer the question, what is a genus or a genus? So let's look at how we can score them for ourselves so that we can see if the one we make at the end of the module shows more depth of thinking. The first thing you can do is count all of your boxes, and you can see over here I've done that. I have 11 boxes. So at the end of the module I might have 14 boxes, and that would show learning or show more confidence perhaps in expressing ideas I already had but wasn't sure enough to really put them down. I would encourage you to take the risk of putting your ideas down, but we all know that happens, right? Okay, I can count my arrows, and you'll notice I have just as many arrows as boxes, and the reason that I've managed that is they aren't all like this. One arrow goes to that box. I've got this group here where there's a triangle and I've joined the loop, and that gives me a few more arrows relative to the number of boxes. I've got 5 unique relationship labels on the arrows. Okay, so what that means, I've got lots of labels, but only 5 of them are different from each other, so we can't count definitions 3 times even though it crosses 3 arrows, and in the same way we can't count type 3 times even though it crosses 3 arrows. So if I go for my unique labels, I've got steps 1, type 2, definitions 3, uses data from 4, gather data for different purposes, including 5 unique labels, 5 labels that are different from each other for the relationships between my boxes. So at the end of the unit, hopefully 1 or 2 of those numbers will have gone up. And then there's my comparison of concrete to abstract thinking. I answer, what is a biogeographical survey with more boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, than I use for my example, 1, 2, 3. And you might be the other way round, but as you move through the unit, that ratio might change a little bit. I could add my ratio on the end there actually. I could put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 to 3. So a ratio has got a colon in the middle, 7 to 3. If I make those a different colour, it's going to be easier to see that. So I look for that buckety thing. And I could make them, say, that colour. Okay, so 7 of those pale grey boxes, 3 of those pinkish ones. If I make that pinkish. Does that show? So that gives us the idea. I hope that helps a little bit in figuring out what you're trying to achieve with this, and thank you for sharing all the progress on the ones that you're working on. It's looking lovely.